Time is now 6:01 in the morning on a Monday. I just woke up from taking a nap after watching some video on my phone. And I fell asleep watching the video. I fell asleep watching a few videos this morning. Yeah, I must be tired. It's time to go home. I've been out here all night. It wasn't a total waste of time. I had 2 no loads, and I had one guy who didn't pay. Yet I had another guy give me a tip that was 3 times what the guy didn't pay. So I'm not complaining there. I also had a customer from last week who didn't pay me the whole amount, but this time she was able to pay me the whole amount and what she owed me from last time. So it was a mixed bag. Grand total for this Sunday night was $280. I can be happy with that. And it's time to go to the bank and make a wee deposit. And after I've done that, I'm going to go fuel it. And after fueling it, I will go home. And I'll be back again tomorrow night. Yep. Oh, look at that. We got daylight already at 6 o'clock. This is changing fast. Changing fast. Okay, it's still kind of twilight. It's not exactly daylight yet, but at least the sky is bluish. Yeah, I think it was a success. First night of the week. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. It was a strange night. Very strange. I came out to work, and the first hour and a half, I had no business. No calls, nothing. And then there was a warning on the MDT here. Not the MDT, we don't have MDTs anymore. Now we have tablets. There was a warning on the tablet that the battery was low. I'm going, oh, that's strange. Well, I checked the wiring that goes between the car's electrical system and the tablet, and I tried plugging it back in, and that didn't seem to do anything. So I was messing with the end of the cord that goes into the socket, and I was turning it and pushing it in, and then realized that I was not getting a connection. So I decided to take the end of it apart, and I found that it wasn't making a connection because things were loose in there. So I was being a total MacGyver about this. I went and took the spring from a ballpoint pen to put it in between the little fuse and the little contact inside, and maybe that would help, so that when you would push the contact at the end, it would push the spring in and make a tight contact. But that didn't seem to work. And I figured out that everything just about between the car's electrical system and the tablet was junk. So I remembered that I had an old power inverter at home, in my car at home. So I went home, grabbed the power inverter, and I tried to get it to work. And I also grabbed a Samsung fast charger, and for some reason that didn't work with the cable that I had that went to the tablet. Well, I searched, I found a lot of cables and a lot of aux cords and things of that nature in the console here. And I found a really long black one that fit the tablet, and the other end is a USB that fit into the Samsung quick charger, which plugs into the power inverter, which plugs into the socket of the car's electrical system. And I was talking with the owner of the car at the time on the phone, because I was going to tell him that I can't work tonight because this thing is broken. But then when I was about to do that, I plugged the inverter, the power inverter, into the socket in the what's his face, in the console, and it started to make a little bit of a noise, like a beeping, as if it wasn't getting enough power. And I guess just pushing it in and turning it a little bit in the socket made for a better connection. And I turned the switch off, and then I turned the switch on, and the light behind the switch came on. Then I plugged in the other thing and got it to work. And so it started powering up this MDT, or this this tablet, and basically put me back into business. I had like 5 trips in the next hour, and then it got slow again. Then there was really slow. Now the time is 5:55. I'm almost at the car wash, and I only made $168. No, 170. 170 for the whole night. My first trip was at 9 o'clock, because all the time spent before that was waiting for a trip that never came along, and then spending an hour fixing up this, getting the power back on for the terminal here. But now I'm at the car wash. And I should turn up the heat in here so that everything will dry out when I put the wet mats in here after washing them. Yuck. Now it's Wednesday morning, the end of a Tuesday night shift. I scraped by with a lot of short trips, and I'm done now. I'm done now. Time is now 5:57. I am done. I'm just gonna head to the car wash. Not a big wash this time. I'm just gonna make it wet, make it look like I washed it. That's the trick, you know. Make it look wet. And wet the mats too, so that it looks like I washed them. This night, I managed to squeak by with just a little over 200. I think I have maybe $208 or $209. And of course, my regular customer owes me another $30 from 2 rides that she had earlier tonight, or earlier during the shift. This was one of those nights where, you know, I typically wait an hour, 2 hours, hour and a half between calls, and none of the trips really went very far. Nobody really went very far. So yeah, just $200. How many trips did I do? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 trips, and 2 of them I didn't get paid for. So there you go. So yeah, I was kind of frustrated by the whole thing. Just tired and annoyed. If I could have had a few longer trips, that would have helped. Oh, I should turn the top light off too. I don't want anyone waving at me. Not that there's going to be a lot of wavers tonight. Get to that little old car wash, wash the car, or spray some water on it. The light is green. Okay. Not much to say except that I was quite disappointed with this night. I said that already, didn't I? The time is now 5:53 a.m. on the Thursday. I just got through quite an eventful night. It was rather eventful. Oh, you're still going? Yes, you're still going. Okay. Yeah, the night was eventful. I had some longer trips in there. I had a couple surprises. There was one I was sent to a particular address, and when I got there, the street was blocked off by the police. And it turns out that my fare was the one that the police stopped. It was a gentleman from, let's just say, English as a second language, and he was from far away, and I could barely understand what he was saying. He had obviously been drinking too, and so the police called or a friend called for me to take him away while the police towed his vehicle. And he directed me to a liquor store, whereupon he bought a great big bottle of whiskey. Then I took him home. So that wasn't going to stop him having his vehicle towed and impounded, and probably had his license suspended. And okay, that was one thing that happened. A few people went for drugs, and meanwhile I was trying to stay warm. Yeah, go on past me. And yeah, I ended up in the end with $300. $300 for a night out is good. That's better than the last 2 nights in a row, by quite a margin. I didn't have to worry if I was going to make any money tonight. which is just the way I like it. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be depositing some money to the bank this morning after I wash the car. Oh, I am tired. I did sleep a lot this morning. Most of my business was before midnight. And so it was just right. Not much else to say right now except I'm tired. It is now Friday morning. Time is now 5:57. I just dropped off my last customer, and then I added up all my Interacts and credit card slips from the night. I was $10 short of my lease, so I had to add $10 cash to the lease envelope. It was a real slow night, extremely slow. I did 230, but the only reason I did 230 was because I had 2 lucky fares. I had a long break. I had a 3-hour break from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And that was after doing a $50 fare, which consisted of taking these people from a building where people with certain problems live, people with mental illnesses, basically. And they live in this sort of apartment building. And 3 people came out of there wanting to go to a convenience store. And when we were at the convenience store, it took long for them to come out because for some reason the people who work at this convenience store are in slow motion mode. So it took forever for these people to get what they wanted and come back out. And then they wanted to go back to where they started. Except that one of the 3 wanted to go to another building, an ex-motel. Actually, it's still a motel, sort of, but it's sort of a long-term, a long-stay motel, I guess you could call it. So I took him there, and he said, just wait for me. By that time, it was up to about how much? $20. And then he wanted to go from there to another residence of sorts, low income, shelter kind of housing, and went there. And then he wanted to go back after that to the place where we had dropped off his other 2 friends back at the, I like to call it schizophrenia house. I just do. So I took him back to schizophrenia house, and then after that, he wanted to go completely like to the other end of town or to another part of town. So by the time we got there, it was like $49 or $49 or however much it was, $45. He wanted to make it 60. Or was it 50 something and he wanted to make it 60? Something like that. Then after my 3-hour break, I got sent to another place, and these 2 guys took forever to come out. But we were at I guess near Quadra and Tolmy, and one of them said that he had left his phone at his friend's house, which was down on Constance at the very end of Esquimalt, near the base. And the other guy wanted to go out to what used to be known as the Spencer Shell. It's now called, I think, McCallum Shell, because Spencer doesn't go across the highway anymore. So that was another, $50. And he gave me 60 as well. So if not for those two fares and what I got out of those two fares, I would have like $110 on. So that's like $120 in just those two fares. So that's what saved my night, and that's what is going to make it possible for me to get groceries tonight. Hope yours is better than mine.